And what's going on, guys? Akil here, coming at you with another video. For those of you new to the channel, I am an endgame player with 4 accounts, which I think probably makes me the most unstable person in all of MSF. But anyway, so I've got 4 accounts, 3 of which are in the endgame, and the newest account is relatively new. I started it back in December, so that is the current baby account. As this video is entitled, though, we are talking hoarding today in Marvel Strike Force, and currently we are on my largest account, which is going to be Vagar. So this is Vagar over here. And I wanted to talk hoarding and, you know, what you should be hoarding in the game, what you don't need to hoard, just kind of the methodology behind hoarding. And the short and simple answer is you almost need to hoard everything, which sounds a little bit ridiculous. But if you're looking to get kind of like a leg up on a lot of the current events, hoarding is unfortunately going to be your best friend. And there's quite a few things that Scopely is really just kind of encouraging us to hoard. So first I want to talk about an event that is now coming along 2 times a month, which is the Coordinated Assault. And basically, pretty simple event, but basically you spend your ISO 8 energy, you get these little milestones, and one of the items is going to feed into the current monthly event. The current one is for Titania, so we've got these little smartphones. And then the other thing that's kind of important about this event is going to be these blue 4 ions. And these are quite in a limited quantity, and these are going to be probably the largest bottleneck to getting Apocalypse, at least the baby Apocalypse. Obviously, the full 7-star Apocalypse requires blue 5 ions, which currently are essentially only available via money. But so let's talk Coordinated Assault. So this is the ISO 8 event, and there's 2 things that you are going to hoard for this event. The first is going to be, and I think I've already collected them today, but you're going to get these ISO 8 campaign energy packs. They look like this right over here, and if I remember correctly, you get 60 a day. So basically, the goal is leading up to a coordinated assault, you're just going to hold on to these, and the way you do that is essentially you just don't spend them. So what I do is, outside of coordinated assault, I only use my ISO 8 energy that I get from the normal refreshes, as well as the bonus ISO 8 energy you get from the campaign bonus refreshes, which happens 3 times a day. What you'll want to do, though, is eventually, kind of like normally right before Coordinated Assault actually comes out, you'll eventually cap this out. And it caps out at 500. So what I'll do is, you know, on a particular day, and we're not in Coordinated Assault, if I'm at, say, 400, you know, I'll get my 230s, which is 60. That'll put me at 460. So the following day, if I was to get another 60 of these ISO 8 refreshes, that would put me over 520. However, from normal from these normal daily campaigns, daily milestones rather, I guess, it actually doesn't go above the 500 cap. So what I'll do is then I might spend like 1 refresh just to keep myself just slightly below 500. That way, whenever I collect these, I don't, you know, hit the cap and have wasted these refreshes. Then once Coordinated Assault happens, I'll go ahead and use those refreshes. I only use up to the 50s, and then we'll spend my ISO 8 energy. The second part of this, and especially now that we are looking to get 2 strike passes a month, is the other thing you're going to want to save, and it's pretty early on in the path, is these 240 ISO 8 campaign energies. So the cool thing now about the strike pass hitting twice a month is that we're going to get this twice a month, so just in time for both Coordinated Assaults. So you save these, you don't collect these until Coordinated Assault happens, and it just kind of gives you a little bit of a boost. And with it coming now twice a month, this should really make Coordinated Assault a little bit easier. The next thing I want to talk about, we'll talk about the event that actually just started, which is the Special Offensive. And basically, the way this one is going to work is basically you spend campaign energy and you earn raid credits. And this is going to tie into 2 things, essentially, you should be hoarding, or 2 different resources you should be hoarding. The first is raid, or the raid credits. And basically you're going to get raid credits two ways, at least in mass quantities. The main way is through the raid season milestones, which resets every 2 weeks. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold on to this energy, or rather these credits, until events like this happen. And it seems like Scopely is just running raid credit type events more and more frequently. And so you'll look here, we are currently... We haven't done anything in this milestone, but if you look, scoring for it is going to be 2 points per raid credit. So just by collecting one of those milestones, that's 1,000 credits, it's actually going to be worth, 2,000 credit or 2,000 points for this milestone. So it's important to save these raid season milestones until there's actually a raid credit type event. So what I'll go in is I'm going to collect these now, so I don't forget. And basically we'll see, just from me hoarding, essentially, what kind of leg up this has given me. So we just collected all those, and right off the bat, without even essentially doing anything, I'm already at milestone 10, or just about milestone 10. This thing is glitching out a little bit, I apologize. So we're just shy of milestone 10. And how many milestones are on this? There's 30. So, typically this down here, I would say probably these last 3 are most likely going to be whalestones. And actually even maybe this one over here. We'll have to kind of look at those and see, what are attainable. But the main thing we're looking at, there's actually no event item in this one. So really nothing. This is kind of more of a bonus event, if you will. But hoarding those raid milestone credits, super important. The second thing you want to save, and we'll get rid of these real quick, is going to be your either Doom raid rewards or your Ultimus raid rewards, depending on what content you're running. So basically what I will do is I actually won't claim any of my Doom raid rewards. And, you'll see here, raid completed. And what I'll do basically is I'll wait till they're just basically getting ready to expire before I collect them. Or until events like this are going on. So I'm going to actually go in here, and I'm going to collect some Doom 3 rewards. And again, we'll see, just kind of where that gets me in an event like this. Just to make sure I haven't missed any. Okay, I think that's all of them. Now, normally I would have more saved up, but we also just got off of an event that encouraged you to collect your raid rewards, so that's why it's not as high as it was. So now we are already up to milestone 15. So I've literally done nothing in this event except hoard, and I'm already at milestone 15. So these raid reward type events seem to be happening pretty regularly now. We seem to be getting one, once every 2 weeks at the longest. So it's important to save that. Now, the other component, and they'll also have kind of similar mechanics, is by spending campaign energy. So another thing you can save is if you look over here, every day on the web store, you are going to get, not that one, we'll talk about that one in a second, you're going to get these, basically you spend 50 power cores and you get 100 campaign energy. And I save these for these campaign type events. So what I'll do is I'll go in and I will collect all those 100 bonus energies, and I will then kind of spend my way through the campaign energy. And an event like this, you look and you're getting 7 points per campaign energy. So those 100 energy is going to be equal to 700 points for the milestone. We also, because of this current level cap increase, have been getting kind of periodically these, like, I think they're calling them like the path to 95 or something. And basically it's in kind of like varied amounts of energy. The first time they did it, it was 1,000 energy. And then the time they did it, I think they've been doing it on Wednesdays. The second time, I think it was 500. And let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's over here, so 500. So stuff like this, when it does come along, I am trying to hold on to it as long as possible. and basically claiming it when it is either close to expiring or when events like this are going on. So that's another kind of resource you can hoard. And these events kind of, happen periodically. Something else to kind of think about is stuff like this. This is the Crusher of Heroes. It's based off of War Attacks, and something you're going to want to hoard, and it's not as hoardy as some of the other things, but basically you always want to make sure that you have kind of full war energy refills. We've been getting a lot of events recently that require War Attacks, and while it's not possible to sustain 14 attacks per war if you're not going to buy these energy refills or refresh a lot, you can sustain 12 war attacks over a course of a week, and you do that by basically making sure you're always purchasing these when the store is refreshing. Another resource we want to talk about, and again, it's not as kind of crazy to hoard, but it's these blitz charges. And typically what I will always try to do is make sure I have 500 blitz charges. That way, when blitz-related milestones are happening, you're able to do as many blitzes as possible. Hopefully you can get a bulk of the blitzing done kind of on day 1 or 2, and then you don't have to worry about it as much. Again, it's one of those things you always want to make sure that this energy doesn't cap, because say if I was at 400 blitz charges, if I collected the daily objective that has 100, it would put me at 500. But if I was at, say, 410, it would still only put me at 500. When you're collecting daily objectives, this will not go over the cap. The only time it will go over the cap is if you are collecting it from, like, mailbox rewards. Mailbox rewards actually will exceed the cap, so that's kind of a good thing. The two more other things that I guess I want to talk about hoarding-wise, and this is kind of a new thing. It hasn't been this way in quite some time. Scopely did away with it for almost, I think, about 2 years, but we just recently had an event that involved opening up gold orbs, and it was a alliance-related event, and next week, as of the time of recording this video, we are set to have another orb opening for gold, but it's going to be a solo player base. So what this tells me is that you basically need to be hoarding your gold orbs, and what I typically do is I try to keep myself roughly around 2 million gold. I do this by only spending about 1 to 1.5 million gold a day, and this kind of keeps me in that happy place. That way I have these gold orbs for those type of events, and I'm ready to go. Something you can also do to kind of help your stash of gold orbs is if you go into the Heroes campaign, there's going to be 2 nodes and specifically that do give gold orbs. And you're going to have this one right here, which is Heroes 5-6, and then also Heroes 5-6, or Heroes 4-6 as well. So these are basically 2 ways. These are 2 nodes I farm every day, and I make sure that I'm kind of getting those gold orbs. So you're getting 400 from this one, and I believe this one is... let's see, that's 8. I believe this one is 400 also. So you're getting 800 gold orbs a day. So, roughly a little bit over a fourth of a gold orb every day. So in the course of 3 days, you will get a gold orb and some change. So this is a way to kind of stockpile that. So I would highly encourage kind of holding on to gold orbs as much as you can. Obviously not at the detriment of your roster. When I open these, I tend to open maybe only 10, just to kind of keep myself right around the 20 million mark, since we haven't had a gold spending event in a long time, but you never know with Scopely. So, the other thing, and I guess probably the last thing to talk about hoarding-wise, is going to be power cores, and power cores may seem like a no-brainer as far as you wanting to accumulate a lot of them. However, the way to do that can sometimes be a little bit more challenging. So there's 2 main ways I would say to accumulate, or I guess technically 3 ways to accumulate power cores. The first one is going to be in Arena, and just kind of putting yourself in a good spot in Arena. I will be the first to tell you, however, that I've gotten very lazy with Arena, and unless I kind of see myself drop above the top 100, I normally just kind of let myself stay there. Under the top 100, you are still getting a fair good amount of power cores a day. Obviously, if you get below the top 50, it's better, but I've been too lazy to do it. And so I've just been kind of slowly accumulating those. And again, it's one of those things that I kind of let it stay in my mailbox just in case there is ever a collect power cores event. You never know with Scopely. Pretty much the only thing I collect from my mailbox without like letting it expire is going to be the beta, or not the beta, but the gamma raids. Not gamma raids. Gamma is what's currently going on. The Greek raids. Greek raids, I always collect the rewards just because it doesn't seem like there is... there's never been anything kind of in relation to those. So I just collect my Greek raid stuff. I get rid of the generic mailbox stuff, but I hoard everything else. And before we go back to power cores real quick, I do also want to mention the Alliance War credits. This is something else to hoard, as we have had in the past events that reward you for collecting war credits. So that's something else I also hoard just out of habit. But back to power cores. So we've covered, getting as high as possible in the arena, which is awesome. If you've got the patience for it, even better. But if you look in a couple of these daily milestones that we have, so basically the 2 Save the Worlds and I believe Golden Opportunity, you're going to have power cores kind of littered throughout here, and this is definitely one way to kind of start accumulating power cores. There's some in Golden Opportunity as well, but in order to basically not counteract the cores I'm spending a day versus the cores I'm actually gaining, what I'm doing outside of Coordinated Assault, which is the ISO 8 event, I do my 4 refreshes. For campaign energy, I typically will only spend 1 refresh a day. And that's enough to get me to 600 energy spent, which gives me, my contribution for raid keys. And that's it. So typically in the past, what I used to do is I actually used to spend all 4 campaign energy refreshes. However, I would say over the last couple months, I have been kind of experimenting a little bit with only doing 1 refresh a day. Now, there are times where I might have to do 1 or 2, because it is ultimately the most important to get my 600 raid keys a day. But if I'm on fairly regularly and I collect the 3 free energies throughout the day, you're able to do the 600 raid keys by only doing 1 refresh. And that's what I've been doing, and it's really allowed me to kind of accumulate a nice bit of power cores. That way, for events like, for example, the Crusher of Heroes, this isn't one I'm interested in doing, but if there's an aspect that has spend power cores, I at least have the ability to make a decision. And I can decide whether or not the rewards in here are worth the power cores that I'd be spending, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that I think is going to cover hoarding. Like I said, short answer, hoard everything. A long answer, obviously, I have kind of gone into detail with this video. So hopefully you have found this, helpful, and you too can become a Marvel Strike Force hoarder, because apparently that's what we need to do to get a leg up in this game. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. As always, I am happy to take suggestions on things you would either like to see or things explained. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone is having a good week, and take it easy. Until next time. Hey guys, I know I just did the outro for the video, but I actually had a little bit of a brain lapse, and actually had another event that actually just started that made me remember one other thing that we should be hoarding. So we're actually over here on Vermithor, and it goes back to actually Blitz, and we talked about Blitz charges, but there was another resource that came up with this new event, and it's actually not showing over here. Bear with me just a second, y'all. Okay, so we're gonna have to reload. But basically, it is it's in relation rather to Blitz credits. So we've got a quick rumble going on right now. So this one doesn't apply as much, but what you're going to want to be doing for events like the character Blitz that just ended, and also the events that we get for on Saturdays, or rather Sundays now, the 2 orb blitzes, so the premium orb and the red star orbs. you see you have these blitz credits in here. That's another thing you actually want to start hoarding. And let me see if I can switch over to Vagar. If it will load over here. All right, here we go. So we're back on Vagar. So hoarding those blitz credits is important because we have had a couple events in the past that basically involve, collect blitz credits and earn points to milestone XYZ. So what I've been doing, if there's also not a blitz credit event going on, is I'll hold off on claiming the milestones for the blitz credits until a blitz credits event starts. However, once the event ends, so like this one just ended now, you have until the next day at server reset. So for me, that's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So for example, if I was saving these blitz credits in this Within the Shadows milestone, if there's no blitz events by tomorrow on before 6 p.m., that's when I would go in and claim these milestones. Same thing, actually, in the milestones over here. So we are getting this once a week. It's like the weekly quick rumble blitz, and I'll hold off on collecting these particular milestones that have blitz credits just in case a, random event starts that has blitz credits, because unfortunately Scopely has not been the best about giving us ample time to hoard. And with a milestone, it's also very similar. You have until the milestones reset, which is actually going to be, for me, 3 p.m. So basically what will happen is when this ends today is Friday, so this will end on Saturday, or I'm sorry, this will end on Sunday, rather. So when this ends on Sunday, I have until Monday at 3 p.m. essentially, it'll go away. So what I would do is I would then collect these, Monday at, say, 2 p.m. And so that's just one other thing, and I forgot to mention it at the earlier part of the intro, main part of the video. So make sure you're also hoarding onto blitz credits. So for milestones, actual milestones, you have until the milestone reset the following day the event ends. So like if an event ends on Monday, you have until Tuesday at the milestone reset, which for me again is 3 p.m. And for the blitz rewards, you have until server reset, which actually, I think these also start now too with the milestone reset. So actually scratch that with the 6 p.m. thing. You actually have until 3 p.m. The day after the event ends. So again, if a blitz ends on Monday, you have until Tuesday to collect those blitz credits. So that's just one more thing to hoard. So I do apologize for the addendum to the video, but same stuff still applies. Feel free to like and subscribe for more content. Thank you again so much for watching, and have a good one.